Alright, let's try something a little bit different here. Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, and Floki Inu. Let's actually do TA and a bit of fundamentals on some of these degens. I don't know if that actually makes sense. I don't know if you can actually do fundamentals on meme coins, but let's have a little go. Cue the intro. I want to give a little shout out to some of the subscribers that posted some lovely comments in the last video. I really appreciate that. You know who you are. It's definitely giving me a push to carry on going and to get some of this work, to keep going and to analyze these charts. So shout out to the subscribers, really appreciate that. Very lovely words. But let's get some of this game now. Let's get straight into the charts of Mr. Dogecoin. Right, so a quick look at Dogecoin. You can see that it's forming a lovely symmetrical triangle here. Two touches on the trend line here and then two on the counter trend line. So it's forming a very nice symmetrical triangle. And normally this pattern is a continuation of the previous trend. So that could be the correction that's happening. So it could end up furthering this correction, maybe finding support at some of these wicks, or maybe somewhere between these areas, the next major level being down at 0.7 cents or 8 cents. Now, obviously the tricky thing with the meme coins is technical analysis sometimes can go out the window. But having said that, actually looking at some of the recent price action, you can see here, this is a lovely, somewhat, I wouldn't say cup and handle, just a kind of rounding formation, correction, followed by building up, and then a massive, of course this is pure meme play, but a massive break to the upside. But it's following technical analysis quite well here. You can see once it broke that level, then it would have gone to the, maybe not to the moon, but it would have broken and increased significantly. So it has followed TA to a certain extent. Okay. So this area is, however, this area is a bit hard to tell because it is a symmetrical triangle. So it could end up breaking to the downside, and then if you kind of take into account that it has increased significantly since November or over a year ago, and only made a small kind of correction here, and this is the longest time it's been correcting in the last year or so. So it could easily carry on correcting because it has been making so many gains for such a long time. So with this, I mean, it's definitely best to wait for a break, convincing break, and then you can kind of place your chips. If it breaks above this counter trend line and maybe retest it and start showing conviction, then you can start to become more bullish. I would say if you look at here, after this massive rounding formation or accumulation, should I say, you can see it starts to increase slowly. This is kind of what we want to see. We want to see a build up, high highs being created, another high, and then this small correction, and of course an explosion upwards. Obviously different pattern to what we're seeing right now, but what we're seeing right now is high highs being created within this symmetrical triangle, but we want to break above this and then create further higher lows, should I say. Okay, I think I said higher highs before. Higher lows, should I say. So that's what we're waiting for, and then we can turn bullish. Now, of course, when this breaks, Dogecoin tends to be quite explosive. Really? The other thing to take in mind is it is quite high in market cap, so can it still make those kind of explosive breaks? I think it's definitely still possible. There are top 10 coins that have moved significantly like this before, so there's still a good chance that I can still do these kind of crazy moves. So with Dogecoin, I would say be patient. Let's see if it can break this area, this counter trend line, and then we can start becoming bullish. If it breaks to the downside, I think we can expect 17-18 cents to be hit once again, or the first defense support level to be 20 cents, then 18 cents. I don't think it go too much lower, maybe 15-16 cents. The next crypto we'll look at is Shiba Inu. Of course, Shiba Inu made some crazy gains from the bottom right here, which is only late September. Massive 11x all the way to the top. At the moment, it's in a small case of correcting. It's corrected from the top as low as 50%, and now seems to be turning around. We're still not out of the clear just yet, but this candle, I would say, is encouraging. This hammer candle stick structure. So we got a big wick below it and a small wick above, showing there's a lot more buying pressure pushing it up. If it can build upon this candle and get past these wicks, these levels, maybe the top of this wick and the top of this candle, then I would say there's a good chance that we're going to see a nice drive, definitely up towards the top of this high at 6640 and potentially beyond. If it can break above that, then I think the bulls will be back in control, and I think Shiba Inu will once again go on a crazy rally. Now, if it is to follow in the footsteps of Doge, then this is one of many rocket rallies. Of course, it's not guaranteed. These are Degen plays. Now, they are following TEA to a certain degree, but let's not get too carried away and get too invested in it. These are speculative plays in my opinion, so I would never place too much of a bag in these coins. Leave the big bags for the more fundamental plays. And one thing I'll say, Floki Inu, which I made a video on before. So Floki Inu is basically copying Shiba Inu's chart pattern. If you look at Shiba Inu, right, we have the massive, or actually it's a bit longer, more data here, but the massive run up and then the correction, 2-3 weeks, and then here we have initial correction, massive run up, and then 3 weeks of correcting. Now this isn't looking as bullish as Shiba Inu. With Shiba Inu, as you can remember, there's it's a hammer candle. This is more of a continuation of the previous trend, so this could definitely continue correcting even below these wicks. Perhaps if it carries on like this, it's not showing any sign of reversing just yet. If we move to the daily, maybe there's a bit more clarity, but you can see it's even gone below this support level. So it looks like it's still, the bears are still in control, and there's still a bit more selling that's going to happen before it turns around. Now this is my Degen play, Floki Inu, which I've mentioned, as I've said. It's a smaller market cap and it's got a lot of marketing behind it, which I think that it will allow it to really capture, you know, the virality of the market. Like, that's why Dogecoin and Shiba Inu have done so well, because it became so viral, and that's what you want for a proper Degen play. So that's Floki Inu. It's not looking too good right now, but with these coins, all it takes is just one random moment and you have a massive green candle like this. So look, if you look at these two candles, two red, and then you had a nice wick over here, and then boom, into the stratosphere. So that's what you should expect with Floki Inu. So it's going to keep going down, and eventually it's going to turn around and boom, into the moon. And the thing about this, as I said, it's a smaller market cap, so it's got a lot more room to grow. Also, the 24-hour trading volume is decent. 22 million is pretty good for meme coin, so just bear that in mind. The other thing is all 199,000 followers. So this is, as I said, it adds to the virality. You want a good marketing campaign, and Floki Inu is spending a lot of money around the world with ads and billboards to try and get the message across. So that's what you want for this Degen play. The other thing as well is they've recruited the Dogecoin millionaire. Now he's got a lot of clout now, so to have someone like this on board is huge. And he originally actually made a video on it, which got me on Floki Inu. Actually no, it was someone from our community that got me on Floki, but he made a video on it highlighting all the things that are going to make Floki a success. And even though it's the world of Degen, the points that he made is very good, especially in regards to how much money they're spending. They've done ads around London trains, around Europe, and they're going to move to America eventually. So once they move to America, it's going to hit crazy level. So the Dogecoin millionaire is on board, and this is a huge plus for me. Again, it's still a speculative play, but this is big news, and I think it's really gonna allow Floki Inu to go to the moon, maybe become a top 50 coin, or even get to the top 20, who knows. But of course, this is a speculative play, so be very careful. Don't get too carried away when it starts to moon, because you never know, it could moon, but then it could also drop 50-60%, and it's a very emotional roller coaster. You don't want to get involved in that kind of situation with big money, unless you're the Dogecoin millionaire who put all his eggs in that basket, which is still insane, but he made it work, you know what I'm saying? So without big risk, you can't get big rewards. So that's it. That'll be all for this video. I literally wanted to make it about this Degen play. Thought it was quite interesting, quite fun, a bit different to my usual videos. So that'll be it for today. Hopefully you got some value from that. See you in the next video. Peace.